Welcome back to the show. We're joined now by NCCS ID Clark Teuscher. Clark, always good to have you come by.
Good to be here.
Well, we start out with women's cross country. They still regionally ranked up there at number 7, and Amanda Lesh, another great weekend.
Yeah, they went up to the University of Minnesota for the Roy Gryak Invitational, which is one of the bigger meets in the Midwest each year. And they competed in the smaller college division, and Amanda finished 6th overall out of a very large field of runners from all different divisions. So she's certainly continuing to stamp herself as a All-American caliber athlete in Division III again this year.
Yeah, and another conference run of the week. I believe it's her third.
Third out of 4, yeah. So when you consider how different the fields people are competing in and different races the teams go to, it's pretty phenomenal that the coaches would still vote her the runner of the week at each one of these different meets with everything else that everybody else is doing.
For sure, and on to the men's side, if they didn't have the weekend off, quite possibly could have had another conference runner, but they gained a little bit of national respect in the polls this last couple weeks.
Yeah, they're currently number 1 in the nation for the 2nd straight week. Certainly something they weren't sure they were going to get with a very different looking team from the one they had last year, but it's definitely a nice thing to have, well deserved. They were off last week trying to prepare for the Notre Dame Invitational this week, which is another one of the bigger meets around the country. So they actually beat the Division II national champion last year at that meet. So they're certainly ready to take on a quality field again.
As we move indoors, the volleyball team didn't have the greatest CCIW start, but earlier this week got a hard-fought victory at home against Wesleyan.
Yeah, that was their first home win of the season. Looked like they were going to finish it out in 3 games, straight sets thing, but Wesleyan hung tough and came back and forced a 5-set match out of it. So they were able to come back and recover and take it out in the 5th set. And
setter Ryan Lally coming into her own. She's only a sophomore.
Yeah, Ryan's been a top competitive player for that team since she stepped onto campus last year as a freshman. She was the freshman of the year last year in the conference. She's been named to the all-tournament team at every tournament they've gone to. She was the MVP at one of them. Certainly the entire offense is running through her, and they're starting to gel a little better in terms of who she's setting to and how the attack is going to run. So I'd expect to see some improved play out of them as we get to the second half of the season. And
Matt Klosterman's soccer squad seems to come back from a little bit of a rough patch with that South Vaccaro tournament final.
Yeah, they came back and were able to salvage a tie-up in Wisconsin last weekend. They've been very good against a very competitive schedule. I think it's prepared them pretty well for what they're going to see in the conference schedule that starts up this weekend against Millikan.
And the women's squad as well, doing a good job taking care of business in non-conference play.
Yeah, they got a win on Tuesday 2-1 against a pretty good Lake Forest team. Really dominated the run of play throughout most of the contest. The one that they let in was at the very end. They've also got their conference opener this weekend, so we'll see how well that's prepared them to go up against that different caliber of competition.
And off the field, they're doing some really good charity work is what it sounds like hearing from you guys in the office. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Coach Kapanen initiated an effort to there's some work with the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, which is a foundation that links up high school and college athletic teams with cancer patients to do publicity work and fundraising and kind of a cooperative effort. And as the coach of both the women's soccer and lacrosse programs, she's brought both of those teams into that, and they've adopted a young 6-year-old cancer patient named Rosie Colucci, who's been involved with the team actually for a couple of years, but the whole, in terms of the adoption, as they call it, that just recently took place on an official basis. So they're going to be able to do a few more things in terms of helping fundraise for efforts to do some research against pediatric cancer.
And quickly here, the men's tennis squad. I know their main season's in the spring, but Sam Sweeney definitely making some noise here in the fall.
Yeah, the Intercollegiate Tennis Association, which is the Coaches Association for tennis, sponsors kind of their own regional and national championships, and they went to the regional tournament over the past weekend up in Michigan, and Sam Sweeney was the individual singles champion, which qualified him for the ITA National Championships, which will be in Alabama in late October.
So I know he did well in the NCAA route last year. He's really making the program proud.
Sam is a top player on the national level in Division III, possibly throughout all collegiate tennis. Tennis is a very competitive sport in Division III. So it's certainly a good thing to see for him. I know he has some aspirations of turning professional once he's done with his college career. So it certainly looks like he's got a good base to build from in that respect.
Well, Clark, thanks as always for coming by.
Thank you.
And that's it for Week 4 edition of the Red Zone. Cardinal football goes under the lights this weekend when the team opens up conference play against Carthage. And you can get the whole scoop on that game right back here next week. We hope to see you then.